Welcome to Indiana Sports Beat Radio, brought to you by the Hard Truth Distilling Company in Brown County, Indiana.
So for the thousands in attendance and the millions watching around the world, it's time!
3 on the way. Oh! It went in! It went in! And Indiana wins the ball game!
Know your role and shut your mouth, you jabroni!
Float game for the win! Taylor's gone. Goodbye. Touchdown, Indy. Woo! IU. America. They got a football team now.
It's pretty simple. I win. Google me.
You know that I'm the cream of the crop.
Now, from the Hard Truth Studios, here's Jim Coyle.
Hello, everybody. Welcome aboard to another edition of Indiana Sports Beat Radio, coming to you on this Thursday. Appreciate you being with us as always. Looking forward to another fun show, packed show actually. Plenty happening today. AJ Moye, the new athletics director in Jeffersonville High School, will join us, and his basketball coach, Sherron Wilkerson, fresh off of a state championship, also on the dais with us last night down at Huber's. Of course, we've got to speak to Coach Darren DeVries and the man who stole the show as usual, Curt Signetti. Man, he just lights up the room. He's a funny guy. Loaded today. Hope everything is going well for you, and your day is getting started off right. But fun time last night down at Huber's, as always. Packed house, close to 900 people in that thing. Of course, the food was fantastic from Huber's. Always the great fried chicken meal and chicken and dumplings and everything. Awesome. But great setup. It was probably one of the bigger crowds that I'd seen in a while, and it was just, it's how it's supposed to be, but it gives guys like Darren DeVries a better indication of the fandom out there for Indiana. But I don't think that there was any doubts about that to begin with. So, but a fun night, and great seeing people. Got to see people that don't always get to see. Got to meet the brother. Marvin Wood was the coach of the Milan team that won the 54 state title. Got to meet his brother last night, and his son and Gene, a friend of his, had introduced me. But yeah, it was just very, very cool to you get to meet some people, man, that you just wouldn't expect. And always a fun time to get to do that. But a fun night, like I said, just getting out and doing that. But football always around the corner. Coach Griffith joining us now.
Hello.
How are you doing, sir?
Great. Got to follow from afar last night with the Huber's event, and sound like a great time had by all, and the enthusiasm for Indiana athletics has probably never been as high as it has been this past 4 or 5 months.
Well, that is a fact. And not only that, there was another first last night, which Rick Bozich and myself had been talking about. But the basketball coach had always been the featured speaker. It's Indiana. What would you expect?
Mm-hmm.
Of course. Last night, that was not the case. I don't want to make a big deal out of it because I think it's funny. I'm talking about it in very light. But Curt Cignetti was the last guy up, and we kind of thought that because he's a hard guy to follow, and he would have been a hard guy to follow last night as well. He was in mid-season form already. Let's just say that.
I'm sure he was.
Yeah, funny. He's got all the stats memorized. Aiden Fisher was there. Of course, you had Elijah Surratt there, and hopefully we'll hear from them in either today or tomorrow. But also Fernando Mendoza was there. Carter Smith was there as well. But Fernando Mendoza, and I told him, I said, I have to be honest with you. I said, every time I say your name on the show, it has to be Fernando Mendoza. And I said, unfortunately, it's earlier in the day when we record, and my voice isn't warm enough that I can trill my R's like in Spanish. Fernando, barely. Fernando. If this is late in the day, no problem. It's funny, but actual voice. But yeah, Fernando was there as well, but they didn't have them on the stage. I thought that was kind of funny, but yeah, it was for football. No basketball players,
right?
Football.
DeVries doesn't have any players. Yeah,
they've got them. Just no one knows who. Hasn't seen much of them.
I thought Signetti's little quip about having DeVries had to go out and sign a whole new team. That's where he felt the pinch in the NIL money.
See, right? Exactly. That was hilarious, and hopefully we'll get to pull that up. I got to cut all those clips up, but that was hilarious. I really did, and what he's talking about is well, go ahead and tell him better. But
I was just asking about how he felt the portal went and whether or not he wished he had gotten a few more or not, and his answer was but because of the basketball program having to go out and sign a whole bunch of players, he felt the pinch in the NIL money because they had to get it all to the basketball program. So, no, I think with what they've done with the Hubers event, and making it an NIL event, money raised from that, and then of course the excitement that's surrounding the whole Indiana athletic department as a whole makes those events a lot funner to attend, and at the same time it puts a lot of people in the seats that want to be a part of that and greet the kids, just like you said, with Aiden Fisher being there and Mendoza and Surratt, who are all well-spoken young men that represent the program in a first-class manner. And when people see that and get a chance to shake a young man's hand and look him in the eye, their ability to commit to making pledges, to funneling money into the program goes so much better when you've got that type of student athlete with the coaches around. It's just, it does a lot for what the purpose of is, and that's supporting, these student athletes.
No doubt. And that has to become a bigger part. And Curt Cignetti said that. He talked about, one of the things he talked about was, you want to be great, then you have to be great in NIL. You have to lead in that category. You have to lead in that and different things. And he's selling. He was selling from the moment that he was on there, man. He's selling that program. He's selling NIL to the people. And you have to, because while Indiana had great success in football last year, the fan base is not, and they showed up, but they don't understand the effort that it truly is going to take to keep a football program at the upper level, because a lot of these other programs have had starts. They've been either good, they've had solid success, or whatever the case. They're not basketball schools.
Right.
That's and Indiana is and will always be a basketball school. It doesn't mean that football can't be pretty damn good like it has become, but it will take a lot to change it from being a basketball school.
Well, right. And I think the biggest thing that has made its mark is the commitment that has been made by President Whitten and, of course, Scott Dolson on all fronts, from salaries for the coaches, a pool of money to keep them there, and not having to go get this approval or that approval. It's kind of Sig's little opportunity to address an issue immediately, on top of what they've done with NIL and how that all has gone. And it does take a lot more resources, money, to have a successful football program. And the return on investment that you expect is positive seasons, bowl games, college football playoff appearances, and then, of course, student graduation. And because football is such a big sport, you just can't compare football and basketball on the same level. It's just it's a different beast that requires a lot of attention in a 24/7 environment. And those are the facts. And I think the one big thing that has enabled Indiana to get to this point has been the president and Dolson's commitment to make Indiana football as good as humanly possible when it comes to resources. Are they there with all resources? No. They know they've got to add money into the stadium. They know they're going to have a new press box. They know that they're going to have the aesthetics to campus to attract prominent football recruits, parents, donors, you name it. It's all the above when it comes to running a top-tiered Division I college football program in today's era. And that is the biggest thing that Indiana did last year, was make that commitment. But they took about 2 to 3 years to prepare themselves for this transition. And I think they've done a phenomenal job of being ahead of the curve in some respects. Now, there's no question NIL has to have some guardrails. Right now, it's still the wild, wild west. The coaches can't plan. It's a changing everyday scenario. And then you've got, on top of that, everything that's been happening with these spring meetings down in Destin, Florida, when it comes to moving the college football playoffs after next year to a 16-team format, and how that's going to be ran and how it's all going to be done. And so I thought his comment about the product is great. They just need to fix some of the things that they need to be fixed in the NIL arena in order to get everything back on track.
Absolutely. And the great thing is, this is a team and a program that is starting several rungs up from where they were last year.
Yeah.
And we saw what they were able to do, even starting from that position. And so it's just, I keep talking about, it's crazy for fans to be able to think that, not even worry about the football season. Oh, it's going to be a good season.
Yeah.
It's how good is it going to be? That's the question.
Yeah, no question. And I think the other thing that has added to the excitement of this year's program, football, all the above, has been how they've rolled out the mascot with bringing the bison back, as the mascot. I thought that was a pretty darn good way of creating momentum and excitement, and how they rolled it back out. Not that it was a big secret. I mean, I don't think you could say it was like a caught you off guard moment, but they made it in a way that fueled the excitement of the fan base. And, that's the thing that keeps the dollars coming in the front door, is what can you do when things aren't, there's no games. There's no nothing. How do you create excitement? How do you keep the fans engaged, the donors engaged? You do something like they did with that. And all that goes hand in hand with creating a successful program. And I'll say this, if you have successful programs in football and basketball, your enrollment is going to go up. And when it goes up, that's more dollars for the institution. So that's
not
why
only that too, but you're making a great point. But enrollment goes up, donations go up, contributions go up. Well, and now it's going to be NIL will go up. And NIL will still be needed, even though the House settlement is going to provide that $20 million a year for schools to use. NIL is to me, NIL is going to be the difference maker. Yes. Everybody, because Ohio State gets 20 million, Indiana gets 20 million, Iowa gets 20 million, Nebraska gets 20 million, Illinois gets 20 million. What's the difference? NIL. And the NIL pools that Ohio State has on top of, because when they were putting together a $30 million payroll, that was without the House settlement.
Yes. So
they're still trying to cultivate that money on top of the House settlement money.
Yeah. And again, that's the era we live in when it comes to college football. And you've got to have the resources both on and off the field to produce a product that lives up to the expectation of what is expected now at Indiana, on top of moving the program forward, not settling for just being where you're at now. You want to keep moving forward. And that takes time. It takes resources. It takes a commitment, not just by the institution, but by the fan base as well, because they're ultimately involved now with NIL. They can, put their dollars where their mouth is, so to speak. And Indiana's been able to do that, and they're getting a pretty good product of it all. But they need the guardrails for the NIL. There's no question about that. I heard Kirby Smart is complaining already that institutions and collectives are providing $20,000 a month for a football commitment to keep his commitment to that institution. $20,000 a month. I mean, that's crazy.
I think that I'm going to do that. I'm going to start making those demands.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, it's not going to go very far.
I tried it with my wife last night. Let me say that
it comes into my inbox. I'm just going to do rip it right in half and throw it out the window.
That's what I said to my wife last night. I said, it's going to take $20,000 a month to have me commit to my commitment with you on a month by month. You know what she said, didn't you?
Oh, rip.
We can't say it on this show right now, but
there's the door. There's the door.
She said I was broken, maybe worth $1.
Hey, at least that was on the positive side.
Yeah, I still got a little pull with her.
Yeah, but it wasn't just Curt Cignetti. Darren DeVries, I thought he did a good job. His first time, being out in front of
public.
When you're that's a lot of people. So
it's important.
Yeah. He had his assistant coaches there. All the assistants were there. I hadn't seen that before, but Kenny Johnson and Drew Adams and Nick Norton, and I think a few other guys as well with the program, but no basketball players to my knowledge, which not a big deal, but I guess no one stands out from this team. That's the thing.
Yeah, right.
You don't have any stars other than maybe Tucker DeVries yet. They'll become their own stars.
Yeah, I don't know. Probably it comes down to too is how many of those kids have transitioned to campus too, especially those that are coming through the portal and stuff. But football's back and running at full steam right now. I mean, they're in the midst of their summer workouts. I think Coach Signetti kind of gave a little bit of rundown of their summer months and what's ahead for not only the kids, but the coaches as well. I mean, they're already back in the office getting after it for this season as they prepare for the games ahead. Camp, they got to prepare for camp and things of that nature, and installation and things that that they can get ahead of. He said he gives them about a 2-week to 3-week breather, and they're back in the office full bore on July the 16th. So summer camps are going on now. I mean, this month is a busy month for the coaches and the assistant coaches because of what is going on with not only planning for the season, but also the recruiting aspect of things, because they've got a momentum right now with that recruiting class they've put together that is pretty darn good.
Andy says that Coach Darren didn't appear to love my question on the 5 spot at the end. I asked him a couple questions, but I asked what prevented him from. He talked about, they're a little thin at the 5, and I asked, well, what prevented you all from being a little stronger there? And he just, he just said he likes what he has. He said he had to. He likes the guys that he has. He's happy with it. It just didn't happen. I mean, I guess the reality is, what are you going to say? We just didn't land anybody. We tried, and it was too expensive, or you're not going to say that. So
right.
I get it. And so no big deal, but no.
And plus he's waiting on what's going to happen with Goody and Leo.
And they mentioned the possibility of still adding a player and a staffer. So all kinds of stuff. You can go to our YouTube page, and that those videos are all up there.
Oh yeah. Great stuff by all. Great stuff by all last night.
And we'll have them on the show as well at some point. But we've got too much going on. Speaking of which, we've got to take a break right now. Back with more from the Hard Truth Distilling Company studios.
Andy Moore Honda is Bloomington's #1 Honda dealer for a reason. Buy a new Honda and get a 3-month break from car payments. That's right, no payments for 90 days. That includes the all-new, all-electric Honda Prologue, and you get it for just 0.9% financing. Or the 2024 Honda Ridgeline Black Edition or the Honda Accord LX, both for just 1.9% financing. Get more to your door from AndyMooreHonda.com, Bloomington's #1 Honda dealer and your best place for new and used vehicles. If you're looking for a new home in the Indianapolis area, you need Cheryl Sizemore from Brick and Ivy Realty. Cheryl Sizemore has over 2 decades of experience, and that could be the difference in getting the home you want in today's tough housing market. Reach out to Cheryl at CherylSizemooreSells@gmail.com or 317-701-0838. That's 317-701-0838. Let Cheryl Sizemore sell or find your new home today. Located on 325 acres in beautiful Brown County, Indiana, Hard Truth Distilling Company is the biggest and the best craft distillery around. While Hard Truth is already known for producing internationally awarded whiskeys and spirits like Hard Truth's sour mash bourbons, sweet mash, and hard road ryes, as well as their cinnamon vodka and the always popular toasted coconut rum. Hard Truth Distillery offers so much more. With a full-service restaurant, ATV, and distillery tours, as well as live music, you can spend an entire day at Hard Truth Distillery while making your entire family or group happy. And that's the Hard Truth. Hard Truth products are available across Indiana, as well as many other states. So no matter where you shop, if they don't carry your favorite Hard Truth product, tell them you want the truth, the Hard Truth. Hard Truth Distilling Company encourages you to enjoy all of their products responsibly and to never drink and drive. Welcome back to the Hard Truth Distilling Company studios. Bob Kravitz out on assignment today, but Coach Griffith was with us as last night we were down at Huber's enjoying a fun time. Great seeing a lot of people that I only get to see once a year. Les Wright, my old athletics director from Floyd Central, was there. AJ Moye was there. He'll be joining us today, along with Sherron Wilkerson, the new athletics director at Jeffersonville High School. So congratulations to him again. Yeah.
I told you about my father's being a former head coach of football there at Jeffersonville High School back in the 70s.
I
growth.
think you did mention that, and I forgot all about that though.
Yep. So I'm very familiar with the Jeff area and how that all has exploded now because of the growth north of the river there. But yeah, Jeff's a very special place.
Well, not only that, are they on the precipice of building a dynasty of sorts, because it's a big enough school, 2,000 students. You're in a metro area. They're right across the river from Louisville, down there next to Clarksville and New Albany, and pretty successful. But yeah, you get a lot of carryover people moving over and growing.
It is a great area of Indiana that has a lot of great history, football, basketball, you name it, baseball, all the way from Jeff to Evansville and points beyond. But yeah, and I know that there's been always a common theme down there that, Indiana was losing their best talent to the Louisville parochial schools because they'd come across and poach them and things of that nature. But you talked about Jeff. George Marshall was the head basketball coach at Jeff for many years.
Oh yeah.
And, he's a guy that he'll have to live up to that legendary status, I guess you could say. But
Mike Broughton led him to the state
Mike
title with Sherron Wilkerson as his lead player. Sherron becoming one of only 3 guys now to ever coach and play at the same school, winning a state title. So
I was down there. The era of Dusty Baker was the big recruit out of Jeff that went to Indiana, played for Bobby Knight. And
wait, Dusty Baker, that name just came up. He is an assistant somewhere, and that's his real name. I forget what
he was a phenomenal athlete. He could jump out of a gym. That's how good he was. And that's the first time I got a chance to meet Coach Knight as a young, I think I was a 3rd or 4th grader running around. Bumped into him accidentally, of course.
Probably lucky that you were that young.
Yeah, I can't tell you what he said, but that was my first encounter with Coach Knight. But yeah, great area for all things in football, basketball, phenomenal athletes. And it's kind of cool to see what's going on now down there, and has been going on here of late with both programs. I know other football programs been down of late.
The Bison is coming back, apparently. It's been on social media all around. Indiana has made this video. And even at the end last night, someone asked Signetti about the Bison. I love the Bison, he says. I love the Bison. So the Bison is in. But looks like you're going to be seeing the Bison. The thing, and I love the Bison as well. But the thing is, thank you, Jim. Appreciate you.
Larry corrected me, by the way. Tommy Baker was the
for the basketball player.
Basketball. I said Dusty. That's a great baseball player, though. But
Tommy, not only that, that name did come up last night, and it's not that Dusty Baker, but
yeah,
and I can't remember what it was. He's an assistant for somebody, but I've got my Vroom baby shirt on for the Pacers.
Yeah.
Well, let's see, they play tonight again, right?
Is it tonight or I can't remember. It's kind of,
well, if they didn't play last night, they play tonight, and I don't think they played last night, did they?
No, I don't think they played. I was watching. I'm a hockey nut, so I was watching.
I was at Huber's and then driving. So,
but anyway, yeah, the Bison. It's interesting how that was a very prominent mascot. What, back in the '60s, early '70s, maybe. And
yes. Of course, they also had. Yeah, they've made a couple of runs at things as far as mascots go. That there was one that was like, oh yeah, no, not that's not it.
I think during Wilson's
the thing for me is the people around the country. First of all, they always, without failure, ask, what the hell's a Hoosier?
Yeah.
Well, there's no answer for that.
Mm-mm.
No official answer.
Nope.
And then, Larry got you too. Tommy Baker.
Yeah.
Played for Coach Knight back in the 70s.
Yeah.
But now how are you going to explain? First of all, now you're the Hoosiers. Now you've got a bison as a mascot. And so more questions.
Yeah.
What the hell's a Hoosier? What the hell does a bison have to do with a Hoosier?
Yeah. Great questions. I do think I think they did a pretty good job in their rollout of that and where that kind of all came from. But I believe the bison is somewhat of a state seal for Indiana.
It is. It's on the state seal.
Right.
I talked about this yesterday. Indiana used to be the Wild West back in the day. Yes, it was considered part of the Wild West. It was a territory. And Buffalo roamed all over this place. And of course, they roamed all over the country, but they roamed right here, all over Indiana. So, yeah, I mean, but if you notice, when you drive around the state, if you pay attention, you will see bison all over the place, like statues.
Yeah.
All over the place. I notice them everywhere. I mean, the what's the steakhouse on the way out of 70 or 74 when you're going to Illinois? I always forget.
I know what you're talking about, but I can't.
They've got a big bison out in front of their place. I just see them everywhere, and I'm like, huh. It's a lot more ingrained than I think people realize.
Yeah. I mean, that's, again, I think you're correct that every time you go somewhere, what is a Hoosier is usually some type of icebreaker to a certain degree that you have no answer for.
The beef house. There we go.
That a boy. Yeah, that sounds like a good place to go too right now.
And then of course, Brian says the Indianapolis equals city in the land of Indians. Okay,
we're getting some nice history lessons today.
But of course, Indiana. Where do you think that comes from? Indians.
Yeah, we're not politically correct as a state then.
Which was a falsehood because it's not. They weren't from India.
Yeah.
But, now, we're getting all over the place. But Fred says bison equals a revenue stream. But I think it'll be good. Now, I wish that they would get a real bison like
the Colorado buffalo. Yeah, to lead them out.
Now, but that's not correct either. There's no such thing as a buffalo, really, because they were incorrectly called buffalo. You've got the buffalo, the water buffalo, but they're actually bison, not buffalo, right? Isn't buffalo an incorrect name for them? I know that they were all, boy, we're getting everywhere today. Yeah, see? Buffaloes live in Africa. Exactly. It's just like Indians. It's a false name. It's an incorrect. They guessed wrongly, and then that name stuck. They're actually bison. So big difference, as Laurie says. Tatanka. Got to put the hands up on the heads. Tatanka.
Absolutely.
You know what that's from, right?
The hands
movie.
Oh,
famous actor.
You're gonna get me now.
Wolves. What's the name of it? Something Wolves, right? Man, we're all over the place today. I can't think of the guy that was the star of Yellowstone.
Kevin Costner.
He was
Bull Durham.
No, that's not to talk with wolves. Something with wolves. Dances with wolves.
Dances with what?
All right. David guessing Animal House. What are you kidding me? Animal House. Or maybe I said something a minute ago that came from that. You guys are doing a great job. John says that when he lived in Cherubusco, there was a buffalo farm down the road. There's a buffalo farm down in Floyd's Knobs.
Yeah.
That I used to go by. And let me tell you, the fencing is quite a bit stouter than for your average cattle. It's twice as high. It's twice as sturdy. They have to keep those things in because they're big. But no, I love bison burgers. I get them all the time.
I haven't had a bison burger. I'll admit that, but I've heard a lot of people talk about how good it is.
Hundreds of them. Yeah, I like them. So,
but yeah, it was a great.
Bill, go ahead.
Go ahead, Bill. Go about Bill Evans there.
He just says, Hoosiers a true basketball fan or a basketball player? Okay, yeah, it's funny. Ease his pain. What the hell? We pulled in all the movie references today. So
yeah, it's that time of year where you're trying to find the sustain aspect of each sport because of where you're at in the recruiting phase. And but the nice thing about football is that was a point that Curt Cignetti talked about last night. If you listened to, he said, what are the rules? What's going on? That's the hardest thing about his job right now. Yeah.
What portal windows? When's it going to be open? When's it's the, and you could tell, you could sense the frustration in that, because that prevents them from doing their job of what they want to be doing. They don't want to be dealing with that crap. No. And I get it, because it has such carryover. And I get it. He said, he goes, my job is to win football games and to graduate students. And I liked how he kept that. He didn't just say win football games, graduate students. I mean, it was boom, boom. It was one hand in hand. But
and he can't. And the thing it impacts is what they do with recruiting. How many incoming freshmen are they going to bring in? They're going to bring 17 and go out in the portal, get extra, or they're going to bring in 20 and go to the portal for just a minimal amount. So for coaches and players and their staffs, we're trained rats. I mean, there's no easy way to put it, that there is a rhyme and a reason for what they do and how they do it. And when there's something like the NIL or the house settlement and how that all goes hand in hand with what they're trying to accomplish with their schedules and stuff, if you don't have those answers, it's a very frustrating thing, because you just don't have the black and white of it. And coaches are very much black and white of anything, especially in the recruiting game. And they just don't have those answers yet. And that makes it a little frustrating, because like you said, the last thing that Coach Signetti and his staff want to be dealing with is, like you said, the NIL when the camp starts. They don't want to be dealing with things that are not in the that important in that moment, but they've now become important because they don't know. They just don't know what the guidelines are, the guardrails will be. But as a coach, I can understand the frustration.
Robert says bison or buffalo meat has a stronger taste than cow. It's leaner is what it is. It's a leaner beef. So you get two things. You get a little less fat, which means you get a little less flavor probably, but I like them just fine. I've had several. I can't think of any place around here in the Bloomington area, but I know that they're available, but I'm trying to think who has one. But not jumping off of well, that's right, Brian, you cannot eat the mascot. That would not be good, taking chunks out of that. So looking forward. Kristen Airy will join us tomorrow, by the way, after the Pacers game tonight, in which they hope to wrap up the Eastern Finals Championship as they take on the New York Knicks. They lead that series 3-1. Tonight they play. Tonight they're back in New York, though, right?
Yeah, they're in New York. That's what I thought.
Yeah. And then it'll just rotate. New York back to Indianapolis and then back to New York if there's a game 7. So the Pacers, they gave up the ghost when they lost one of those home games, but they won the other one, and they still have home court advantage at the moment.
Halliburton played his lights out too that game.
They're going to need him again. They
they need to finish this up. They don't want to keep stretching it all out.
Oh, absolutely not. The longer it goes, well, obviously, the better it is for New York because they need that wins. But then you start putting the pressure starts to mount on the Pacers because they were up 2-0, because they were up 3-1. You have these not insurmountable, but pretty sizable leads. And but it's hard. You're going into Madison Square Garden tonight. That crowd's going to be on fire because they know that, hey, they lose, it's over. It's done.
Yeah, exactly. And the Pacers' momentum of coming off that game the other night with a big win after the loss that they sustained, giving up I don't know how many point lead it was in game 4, but Halliburton's performance, everything that's been centered around him throughout his years in Indy, and now they've got a game 5 out in New York where they're going to have to duplicate their performances out there that they had at the beginning of the series and play good, solid basketball. And they've been playing pretty good darn defense, which is a word that you really never associate with Pacers basketball, is the word defense, but they have been pretty darn good, playing solid defense and aggressive. And that's what has you excited a little bit about them making them, wrapping the series and getting into the finals.
Well, they've already done this. They won the first 2 games in New York, so it's not like they can't do it. And they're up 3-1. So yeah, we know that they can do it. But New York also didn't get there by lucking into it. They knocked off the defending champion Boston Celtics to get to where they are. But the Pacers are starting to seem like a destined team a little bit, but they've got to get past this and get into the finals. And when you get there, you've got the giant Oklahoma City waiting for you, who is the favorite to win the finals, period. It doesn't even matter who shows up on the Eastern Conference side.
Yeah, there's not much hope for that. Whoever comes out of this game, out of this series in that regard. But Indiana right now just seems to be a little bit of that team of destiny based upon how they've played. And, the Cinderella story aspect of their season and, what they've done and shocking the world by taking 2 in New York, which no one gave them a shot in, what to do. And had they not had the trip up in game 4, this series they would have swept them. So yeah, tonight is a pivotal game. There's no question. Most game 5s are in any type of series. They're very pivotal. And especially now that Indiana's got a chance to close it out, they're going to get New York's best. It's hard to put a team away, because they're playing desperation basketball for the, better part of it. And they're going to have that A+ game to get themselves beyond this series and get themselves in the finals.
Exactly. And that's what it takes to get to the end. And they will certainly continue to do that as let's see, Indiana is 9-5 against Oklahoma City and 9-5 in the last 14 games, according to 5 Lefts. But how many of those games were this season? Did they they probably didn't play them that many times this season, I wouldn't think. But Oklahoma City is the resounding favorite. Doesn't mean that they can't get beat. Who picked the Pacers to potentially be in the NBA Finals? They were the number 4 seed, people. Not 1, not 2, not even 3, 4. So that's a tough road to get through.
No question, because you don't have home court advantage, and in order to get it back, you kind of have to steal 1 or 2 in an opponent's barn. So they've been able to do that, and that's the thing that you got to tip your hat to the Pacers and how they've played, and the guys that they've needed to step up have, and for the most purposes. And they're just going to have to continue to doing that. But I like the way they've played in this series. They've been aggressive. They've kept themselves in check. No craziness, and they've been clutch in some situations.
Absolutely. And hopefully they'll continue to be doing just that. We're going to take a quick break. When we come back, should have AJ Moye and Sherron Wilkerson joining us. And Coach, you're welcome to stick in for that. But if not, we'll have you back afterwards.
Yeah, just let me know.
And but
we gonna have Drew on tonight on the tailgate at 7:30. So if you guys are around, by all means, pop in and say hello tonight at 7:30.
Drew Rosenberg.
Yep.
From the Hoosier.com, where all kinds of stuff going on over there. Haven't even talked about that just yet, but we've got more coming up. Back with it from the Hard Truth Distilling Company studios after these messages.
Know a team or group needing a fundraiser? Boost Fundraising raises more money faster and offers the most unique and user-friendly online fundraiser in the nation. Your team receives personalized fundraising pages for each team member. Free team-branded promo gifts shipped to each donor. Boost Fundraising does it all. Sports teams, marching bands, charity causes, and community groups. Go to boostfundraising.com and be sure to enter the promo code COYLE, that's COYLE, to receive a discounted fundraiser. Located on 325 acres in beautiful Brown County, Indiana, Hard Truth Distilling Company is the biggest and the best craft distillery around. While Hard Truth is already known for producing internationally awarded whiskeys and spirits like Hard Truth Sour Mash Bourbons, Sweet Mash, and Hard Road Ryes, as well as their cinnamon vodka and the always popular Toasted Coconut Rum. Hard Truth Distillery offers so much more. With a full-service restaurant, ATV, and distillery tours, as well as live music, you can spend an entire day at Hard Truth Distillery while making your entire family or group happy. And that's the Hard Truth. Hard Truth products are available across Indiana, as well as many other states. So no matter where you shop, if they don't carry your favorite Hard Truth product, tell them you want the truth, the Hard Truth. Hard Truth Distilling Company encourages you to enjoy all of their products responsibly and to never drink and drive.
Welcome back to the Hard Truth Distilling Company studios, joined now by the great state champion, Sherron Wilkerson. I have to always announce you now as the state champion because you are the man. Got the good-looking glasses on, man. You're styling today. I'm not sure that Sherron
Mr. Coyle, can you hear me?
Yes, sir. I'm not sure if you can hear me or not, but I
can you hear me, buddy?
Hear you. Yes, sir. I can, but I don't think you can hear me.
I got so much going on here. Trying to get there. Trying to get
He's getting situated in there. While he does that, we'll get him ready. He's got his Pacers shirt on as well.
Can you hear me?
I can, brother. Can you hear me?
I can hear you now, buddy. I think I can. I think I can hear you now. I think I'm waiting on. I think AJ's about to join us as we speak, Mr. Coyle.
That'd be great. I see you got your Pacers shirt on, man.
Man, I got my Pacers shirt on, man. I don't know why I can't. Can you? Yeah, I'm supporting my Pacers. Obviously, man. They are. They're playing really well right now.
I'm telling you, I was just talking about them. They are a game away from making the NBA Finals. Nobody had that picked.
Just like nobody had AJ Moye picked to be the next AD in Jeffersonville either, baby. But guess what? Stuff happens in life. Welcome, Mr. Athletics Director. Sherron's new boss, by the way. Just kidding. But that's got to be so cool for you guys to be able to work together, because I know how good of friends that you guys are and have been for quite some time.
Jim, for me,
for me, man, it's yeah.
Go ahead,
AJ. Well, let's go ahead, AJ.
Keep going, Sherron.
No, I was going to say
no,
for
me,
us
man,
here in Jeffersonville, everybody is thrilled to death. Being to obviously to bring a person to such as AJ to our community is absolutely priceless. Not just for our students and student athletes, but for every age genre that we have in our community. Last night he went to the DeVries event, Mr. Coyle, and he was embraced like he probably was never expecting to be embraced. So I think that's just an indication of the love and respect that he has here in our community.
And Sherron, I know that, God, I love you. You know how much I love you. You've got to stop calling me Mr. Coyle. I don't even know that my dad was Mr. Coyle.
I got you. Yes, sir, I got you.
You're just the most gracious guy in the world. But yeah, AJ, I don't think Jeffersonville realizes how lucky they are to have both of you guys, because just one of you is luckier than most places are. But to give both of you, man, Jeffersonville and that community, I hope that they realize how special this is.
Yeah, I mean, I know for me, it was almost a no-brainer. Just going through the process, talking with Sherron, getting a chance to work with a man who's always been like a mentor to me. I remember I met him when I was like 18. And I used to be a little bit of a firecracker when I played, if you didn't recognize. But
the guy you're talking about was the same thing,
he's a
my friend.
Firecracker as well. That's why he knew how to. That's how he knew how to speak with me. And then from there, friendship grew, respect grew, as comrades and counterparts. And then, man, to me, man, he's like a big brother, and he's gonna always be that. But the real cool thing about it is, man, we have a chance to really push Jeffersonville to the forefront of what I like to say complete athletic dominance. But we're going to do that through simply, man, being there for our students, showing up for our students. I care more about their character, and I care more about their goals, and I care more about them being good people, great people first. And I think from that, you have a trickle-down effect where some really great things can happen. So I'm just excited, man. I was at the baseball game last night. I'm driving up today. I'm going to Bloomington as we have a runner in the sectionals in cross country. So, man, I'm all over the place, just trying to get acclimated. But more importantly, I'm just trying to show every single department here, every single aspect of athletics here, that they matter and they're a great deal. They mean a great deal to me. Like next week, I'm going to the state finals. We got a sprinter who will be attending IU, and she's in the state finals. So, man, I'm excited and I love it. And yeah, man, this is quite the opportunity.
Yeah, it's awesome to see you're jumping right into it and doing all the things that athletics director has to do. They have to be everywhere.
Oh, yeah.
Like the football coach has to be at the football events, the AD's got to be at the football events, the basketball events, the softball events, the tennis events. Everything is going. Sherron couldn't go to the event at Huber's last night because he had to go to the baseball sectional. So all kinds of stuff going on, and I get that, but I hope people respect that this is being done and for the kids of those communities, for the students of those communities. And yeah, I told someone last night, I'm like, beware Jeffersonville. I go, it ain't some 1A school.
they got the students, man, and that's a growing area down there. You've got people that continue to move in from Louisville right across the river, and when you got people moving in, you got athletes moving in. And that continues. Jeffersonville was always, when I was in school at Floyd Central, boy, they were the big school then. Not that we didn't take our shot at them, and we got some wins, baby. That's all right. But no, but it's Jeffersonville, New Albany, Floyd Central, but Jeffersonville always 2,000 students. It's a huge school, man.
We are the biggest school below Columbus, Indiana, I believe, if I remember correctly, Jim. So and I think for us, it's, especially me being an alumni and this being my home community, we have so much to offer in so many different regards. And I think that we would be remiss not to maximize the way that our community has grown. You know, our mayor, Mike Moore, has been absolutely tremendous in taking this community in the right direction. We've brought so many amenities that actually pulls families to our community. So I think from an educational perspective, it's our responsibility to make sure that we capitalize on that.
Speaking of the devil, and it just dawned on me, my old mentor is at Jeffersonville even. You guys in the TV radio department, Fred Calgill, the long time sports director at Channel 32 WOKY, the CBS station in Louisville, had retired from that gig, but now he's running radio TV in Jeffersonville. So they've got that going on. You guys have some big names there now with Sherron Wilkerson, AJ Moye, and Fred Calgill. AJ, have you had a chance to meet Fred yet?
Oh yeah, I met Fred during the graduation. He was actually working. He had students up there working and recording it, and just kind of taking in that graduation from all angles and all sides. So he was running the broadcast during the graduation. But yeah, I love Fred. Can't wait to build with him even more.
Bill says, AJ, we need to keep your top athletes at home and not let those church schools in Louisville recruit them. What he's referring to, for those of you not in the area, is St. Xavier and Trinity in Louisville that have long been the dominant schools over in that state. It's ironic, though. That's not the case in Indiana, not even in Indianapolis. It's the public schools that rule athletics. In Kentucky, it is different because there are a couple of in Lexington as well that are the dominant schools. But in Indiana, it still remains to be public schools like Jeffersonville that continue to exceed, coming off of a basketball state championship, by the way, if you didn't know, knocking off the unbeatable Fishers team that was undefeated. Just didn't know if everybody knew that or not. Wanted to throw that in there, Sherron. How is that still sinking in? It's been a while. I know time has gone by, but man, if it was me, I'd still be waking up going, hell yes.
Hey, listen. No way. I think Sherron started yesterday with next year's team, and we're excited about the group and excited to get them together. Sherron has a month full of June packed with a lot of competition and a lot of chances for this group to get to come together and evolve. So I know we love it, and I know he's going to speak a whole lot more to it, because I know there has to be an immense amount of pride, an immense amount of self-esteem, an immense amount of satisfaction in the fact that, man, this man is in rare air. You know what I mean? To be a Mr. Basketball, to win a state title, and then come back and work at your institution and work at your high school and win a state title again. I mean, that's legendary stuff. So I'm gonna let him talk.
Three people ever in the history of Indiana basketball have done what he has done. He's one of the three.
Well, fellas, let me say this first. I think it's divinely inspired. That's the first thing. And then I think the second thing, I've always had really, really good people around me. I've been blessed in so many different regards. And I just happen to be, just happen to have the opportunity to be a part of some really, 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 really special groups. So it's so many variables that go into all of that, to all of that equations, fellas. But I will tell you, man, I feel extremely, extremely blessed.
Well, I always say this, and I'm sure people get tired of it, but I don't care. You are in a group that is a very, very, very small group of people that actually did something, that changed, that has made a change, that is still making a change. I will always say I get goosebumps when I talk about it, and like right now, but I truly love the person you are, the person you became, because that is damn near impossible for people to change their being. And you did that, and you did it in such a way that it is so damned inspiring to everybody, not just kids, to people like me. I look up to you. I have so much respect for you for that, because I know how hard that is, how very few people can accomplish that. Very
God's
few
grace, man.
people
God's
can
grace.
accomplish that.
It's God's grace, man. Believe me, it's God's grace that's covering Sherron. It's God's grace that inspired Sherron. It's God's grace, that transformed Sherron, man. So he's a living testimony to it.
I agree with that, man. I agree with the Sean. You just got to sit back and take it. I mean, we're going to just throw all these flowers on you. You're just going to have to.
I just want to coach, man. I just want to coach and help my kids, man. That's it. Yeah.
You're doing a good job with that. Curt Cignetti last night was asked about a lot of different questions over at the Hubers events, and one of the things he said in the back with us was, "Hey, man, I'm paid to win games and graduate students. That outside noise, I can't control. I can't deal with. There's nothing I can do about it. This is what I would like to be able to focus on." Fortunately, you guys have not had to deal with that yet, but is there fear that there's going to be a trickle down of this NIL stuff, all that's going on? Because, boy, every time we turn around, somebody's suing somebody for something because they want to make money. And I understand, hey, I'd love to be able to make money too. But I'm waiting for this trickle down thing to hit the high schools. AJ, you're the AD, man. It falls on your shoulders first.
Well, man, that's always a dicey situation, a little bit tricky, but it's a situation, man. I don't foresee it coming into play in Indiana anytime soon. And even if it does, say it does, I highly doubt that it could change a thing about how the way we do things at Jeffersonville, especially the way Sherron does his thing. He said something the other day, man, and I was filled with so much esteem, and I was also filled with so much wow, man, that was divine. But we were just in the office talking, and Sherron was like, "Hey, the sixth most important trait for me, the sixth most important thing for me is basketball." So what he's looking at in players, hey, is your character, is your work ethic, is, hey, do you listen all the time? Not just on the basketball court, but how about in school? How about at home, right? So the things he's instilling within these players has nothing to do with basketball. And that's how the players are able to come back down 10 points with 2 minutes and 40 seconds left. How the players are able to beat a team that won 52 straight games. You know what I mean? 51 straight games. And so as long as we have, Sherron at the forefront, we have, good leaders at the forefront of our programs, which we do. And we have a lot of young talent, man, a lot of young talent in all of our programs. I don't really foresee that coming into play in the state of Indiana, but, you never know. And if it does, then we'll cross that bridge once we get there.
AJ, you've been a wanted man down in Southern Indiana. My alma mater, Floyd Central, tried to get you, and I found out last night, not once, but twice they tried to get you. They tried to get you again, but they couldn't seal the deal. Sherron must have been throwing the cards out there, but blocking that deal. But that's a whole nother story. But what was it that I know the opportunity came up, but what prompted you to say, you know what, I'm going to look at this direction and go in this direction?
Well, I'll tell you this, man. I'm a faithful man, and I'm not going to on a whole spiel about it, but man, in life, I'm big on character. I'm big on family. I'm big on love. I'm big on just trying to follow God's presence, right? And I'm a 43-year-old man. You know, Sherron's 50, and I didn't mean to throw it in there, but you know what I mean. It's hey, listen.
But I ain't laughing. What am I doing? I got to shut up.
Hey, listen. We've lived through a lot, man. We've been through a lot, man. We've been on the highest of highs as youth athletes, as young men. You know, we've been during some low times, and the thing that struck with me is this, man. In life, man, life is not about what you have, what you can accumulate. Life is not about who you know. Man, life is about the people you're doing life with. And Sherron has always been one of my closest friends, and always been a person that I hold in the highest regards, right? And so when this opportunity popped up, where I could go, you know, and work with Sherron, and we can partner on some things, and you know, I love Pam Hall, our principal, who is just absolutely spectacular. And, you know, along with some people in the community that I know and I've had long-standing relationships with, my heart was totally driven down here. Because, you know, at the end of the day, man, you want to enjoy yourself in life, and you want to be somewhere where the inspiration is constant, and the joy and the fulfillment of the job is constant, because there will be some pain, there will be some hurdles to clear, there will be some unexpected things that might dampen your mood a bit, right? But you know, the chance to work with my brother, you know, especially, you know, we've walked the same walk. I mean, we're almost kind of identical as players. He's just a man that I hold with the utmost amount of integrity and faith and character, man. His character, man, can't beat his character. So, you know, when I had this opportunity, man, I couldn't just glance over it. And once we were able, you know, to make it real, man, then that's time to come on home, man. Time to come on home.
That's all nice, but just tell the truth. It's just too damn cold up in Valparaiso, man.
Nah. No, man. I enjoyed my time. I enjoyed my time at Valparaiso. And when you look at me, you'll see all of my moves I make in life, they're always based more so on love. I'm a love-based organism, man. So, you know, when I went to Valparaiso, I went up there with Roger. And you know me and Roger's history. So, but Sherron, man, like, man, you know what I mean? Like, if you know, you know, I'm not trying to be too literal, but like, you know, man, who knows? Who knows what may happen with me? But man, if I'm in a situation where, you know, maybe I got 6 more days left, right? Man, I'd rather spend all 6 with Sherron, and that's just who I am. So I love my boy, and I'm grateful to be here. Love the city of Jeffersonville, man. Love all the people at the school, and it's just about I'm just trying to learn, serve, and learn right now, because I think the most important thing, especially going into a new position, especially going into a position of leadership, right? You want to learn every single soul that you can meet that comprises this Jeffersonville thing as a whole. And once I learn them and understand their journey, understand their walk, understand the joys, understand the trials, and then I'll be able to better equip and better serve them.
And that, my friends, is why Jeffersonville hired AJ Moye as its athletics director, and we're so lucky to do so. Sherron, what's it like to be able to have this situation? Because this is unique. I mean, I don't know if anywhere else has anything like this. It is a very unique situation, not just in the friendship, the prior friendship, not becoming friends after the fact, but the prior deep friendship, the respect, all the other similarities. Former IU basketball players. There's so much going on there that that's a unique situation, and I know the personal meaning is great, and then the other side just feels.
A couple of things that come into mind is purpose, synchronicity, divine intervention. I keep going back to that. Like this is, and I do, folks. I truly believe that. Like if you think about the probability of how all this has played out and how it's all come to fruition, like the probability is extremely small, right? So to have it play out the way that it has, for me, two things. Number one, it's been a dream come true. I mean, you got part of the old Indiana guard versus the new Indiana guard, if you will. You know, AJ was one of the last players to go to the Final Four. So that's something that the IU faithfuls put a lot of stock in. So from my perspective, and I'm not even for sure if AJ even really understands this. You know, he's a hero in our eyes. I mean, in so many different regards, right? So I think too, as we were going through this process, I think typically you have two types of candidates that you end up bringing into your organizations. You have one that has the wow factor, or as they call it at the college level, you win the press conference, right? Or you typically have somebody in that may not carry the notoriety, but they understand how to do the job, right? So you end up doing one of the two things. Well, in this situation, we got both. Here's why we got both, because typically we call them task completers. And if you are a leader, such as AJ, doesn't matter what the task is, you put the task in front of you and you get the job done. And I think more specifically, that all is spawned from being able to play for a man by the name of Mr. Coach Bobby Knight. And I think that if you can do that, you can do anything in life.
And ladies and gentlemen, that's why these guys are leading the students of tomorrow and not someone like me. You can see that they have the tools to do so, that they are prepared to do so. And again, I cannot stress how fortunate they are down there in the entire Jeffersonville community. Last night down in Southern Indiana, I know you did not get to go to Huber's, Sherron, but AJ was there taking it all in. You had met Darren DeVries before, but last night I'd seen when I saw him speak again, he seemed a lot more comfortable than he did at the press conference. Boy, it was wow. This is not West Virginia, and this ain't Drake. In big difference. But last night he seemed to handle it very well. The meeting with us beforehand, behind the same deal, very comfortable in speaking. What are your thoughts on Darren DeVries, AJ?
I love Darren. Me personally, he was at Drake my first year at Valpo. Man, we almost got him at home, man. We had him down big, and it was close, and we ended up losing. And at Drake, man, they took us behind the woodshed. But he is a phenomenal coach, man. Like he offensively, man, his sets they're superb, and defensively, man, he runs his program pretty well, and so I love him as a coach. And I'm just interested to see how he makes it all work at Indiana. The roster, they have a lot of shooting, and I guess we'll have to wait and see on the rest.
Sharon, I know you probably don't have any interaction because you've been busy doing what you've been doing down in the southern part of the state at Jeffersonville. But any your thoughts on Darren DeVries?
No, I think I think thus far. Well, let me say this: I think Jim coming to be the head coach at Indiana University is obviously going to be that's going to be daunting for anybody. I think just the nostalgia of it. I mean, man, is difficult to deal with. But that being said, I think he's done a tremendous job thus far. I think the thing for me that I would like to see is that he heavily recruit the state.
Yes.
I think if you look around, right. I think Indiana high school basketball it has a special place in college athletics because of the coaching that takes place at the high school level here, and I think that Matt Painter has done a really good job of exploiting that. And now I hope that Coach DeVries can now assert our dominance back in the state as a state recruiter.
Absolutely, and I think that's with guys like Drew Adams on the staff, who is a Bloomington native. And Kenny Johnson, who has been here before, was at Louisville, so a very great experience in these areas. I think that there's definitely going to be a change back to that, and it's been an issue. Indiana has not gotten the Indiana guys. They've not been really getting them. Too many of them, but they get with Trent Sisley, but then also you lose Braylon Mullins, you lose Jalen Harrelson, you lose daggone it, the guy from Oklahoma went to Kansas. Well, I didn't want to bring that one up. But I was going to say, hey, probably hasn't signed a NIL, a national letter of intent yet. So, and Darren DeVries did say there's always a possibility of adding another player to this roster. So I just try to be careful of any NCAA rules violations that while there may not be few left, but that was to me a huge loss by Indiana to not recruit that kid. We got to watch him again up close and personal at the state championship last year. A great leader, a great team leader, and I'm sure Indiana fans would love to see him in an Indiana uniform instead of what was it, Northwestern? Northwestern. I mean, I'm sure that he's extraordinarily smart, but and Collins is a great dude. But did I say Northwestern?
Well, let me say this: Coach Collins and his staff did an absolute wonderful job of recruiting Trey and his family. I think obviously his pedigree speaks for itself, but the way that he built the relationship, the personal relationship, I should say, with Trey and his family was it was impressive to watch, Jim. And for me, as Trey's coach, obviously passing the baton, obviously it was a breath of fresh air to know that I was passing him on to a person such as Collins and his staff. Like, right? I mean, just from an aspect of understanding the business, just from an aspect of understanding student athletes and their families, and then probably I think for me, understanding specifically what to do and how to get Trey ready potentially for the next level. He checks all of the boxes. So it's a no-brainer in that regard. And I think Trey's going to do really well there, Jim. I think he's going to flourish in that system.
Great school, a diploma from Northwestern. It might help you in life. Yeah. But and then of course the Collins family, a great basketball family. His dad, Doug Collins, goes back to the NBA. I mean, and Chris has done a marvelous job at Northwestern. I think he's led them to their first NCAA ever appearance. And so it's been fun to watch. But the good thing is there's something called the transfer portal.
Sure.
So a lot of people with Braylon Mullins, you freshmen, you got to get your freshman year out of the way, and then all right, maybe I'll check out these waters. So there's that. But what's up next for you guys, man? I know AJ has got to be busy as hell jumping into this job.
Oh yeah, man. But it's a job where, you know, you have to know, you have to understand. Sherron kept telling me, he said, hey man, listen, you're gonna be busy, you're gonna be gone, you're gonna be here, you're gonna be there. But it's something, man, where it's a breath of fresh air. I feel that it's my next step in life, and I'm loving it right now. So I'm just shoot, I got another meeting coming up at 11, and man,
you gotta head to McDonald's now.
I'm just no McDonald's, man.
I'm loving it.
Yeah, but no, man, it's a beautiful thing, and I know Sherron's got a busy month of June.
Sherron, he's already got you scheduled up, man.
Yeah.
Hey, we want to make sure that AJ has no worries with the basketball program. We got some other programs, Jim, that really needs the support, and we want to make sure that those student athletes and the coaches and their families get the support that they need, right? And I mean, man, and I'm here to support AJ in any way that we can. And at the end of the day, you know, it's his program, you know, and I will fall in line just like everybody else is going to have to do as well. So no, we're really excited to support him.
Two of the greatest former Hoosiers, two of my favorite people in the world. Love you guys. I cannot tell you how much I appreciate you. You always, without fail, when I ask, come on and share your stories. And I'm grateful. I know the people are grateful to get to hear them, because you two are both great individuals doing great things. And that is always great to see. Appreciate Sherron, love you, brother.
Man, love you, Jim. Hey, Jim, real quick, what's your shirt size, man? We got to get you some Jeffersonville gear. Yeah, man, we got it. Listen, hey, you ain't got to wear it, man. You can hang it up, man. You can put it in the studio. Yeah, we understand. We know you got the Floyd Central. We know you got the Floyd Central blood over there, buddy. We know. We just
it's not what it used to be. So I, out of love and respect for you guys, extra large. And we'll I will wear it with pride. I hope it doesn't burn my skin, but
we love you, big dog. We love you, man. We love you.
I love you. I can't wait to get down and see you both, guys. Thank you both so much, man. Good luck, AJ. I know they're gonna love you guys. Sherron, can't wait to see you again, man.
Thanks, big dog.
Let me know if you want to get together for lunch or anything when you're in Bloomington, AJ.
Hey man, you let me know. We gonna come up there, Jim, so we can take you to lunch, man.
Yeah. Anytime. I'm here. I'm here.
Our treat.
You guys have a great day, guys. Love you both. Have a great one.
Love you, Jim.
Sherron Wilkerson, AJ Moye, joining us here on Indiana Sports Beat Radio. Got to take a quick pause for the cause. We're back with more from the Hard Truth Distilling Company studios right after these messages.
If you're looking for a new home in the Indianapolis area, you need Cheryl Sizemore from Brick and Ivy Realty. Cheryl Sizemore has over 2 decades of experience, and that could be the difference in getting the home you want in today's tough housing market. Reach out to Cheryl at CherylSizemore@gmail.com or 317-701-0838. That's 317-701-0838. Let Cheryl Sizemore sell or find your new home today.
Located on 325 acres in beautiful Brown County, Indiana, Hard Truth Distilling Company is the biggest and the best craft distillery around. While Hard Truth is already known for producing internationally awarded whiskeys and spirits like Hard Truth's sour mash bourbons, sweet mash, and hard road ryes, as well as their cinnamon vodka and the always popular toasted coconut rum. Hard Truth Distillery offers so much more. With a full-service restaurant, ATV, and distillery tours, as well as live music, you can spend an entire day at Hard Truth Distillery while making your entire family or group happy. And that's the Hard Truth. Hard Truth products are available across Indiana, as well as many other states. So no matter where you shop, if they don't carry your favorite Hard Truth product, tell them you want the truth, the Hard Truth. Hard Truth Distilling Company encourages you to enjoy all of their products responsibly and to never drink and drive.
When it comes to apparel and promotions, Freethink has you covered, literally, whether it's 24 or 200 shirts for sports leagues, businesses, or groups. Freethink Apparel and Promotions can also create your very own merchandising store. Freethink Apparel and Promotions did it for Indiana Sports Beat Radio, and they can do it for you. Whether it's screen printing, embroidery, digital printing, promotional products, vehicle wraps, or anything else under the promotional line. See what Freethink Apparel and Promotions can do for you at freethinkapparel.com. Welcome back to the Hard Truth Distilling Company studios. Jim Coyle with you as always on this Thursday. Just finished up just a fun, great conversation with Sherron Wilkerson and AJ Moye, both former IU basketball players, both now employees of Jeffersonville High School, as Sherron, of course, is the head basketball coach, where he led the Red Devils to state championship this year and a Final Four appearance last year. And just that school's in great hands. AJ Moye just taking over as AD. So that's going to be fun for those guys, man. Had a blast last night as well. Like I said, at Huber's, saw some great people. Tim and Jen Gone came up from Houston for this. They may get the award for traveling the furthest. I turned around and I saw Tim. I'm like, wow. I go, you came up for this? And he's like, yeah. And then introduced me to Jen. I don't think I'd ever met her before, but so yeah, I see her on social media a lot. But yeah, there are a lot of people that drive. Most of the people are from that area, but there are people that come from a few hours out, but not from Houston. That's a haul, man, and that's a fan. But great to see Tim and Jen gone last night. So appreciate you guys as well. And I cannot remember his name. I ran into a guy that I met the year before from Nashville that drives up for that event. It's wild. That's why I say you better get your tickets early, because if you don't, you ain't. It's the people close by suck up a bunch of them, and then the rest were from whomever else could get tickets. The Hoosier Connect people were there selling. They had some special bourbon, and I in the next break I bought a bottle of it. I bought a bottle last year to keep it. This one they had 4 different ones this year though. So they had the Sig collection. I can't remember what they all were. Which one I purchased, but just to buy it, but I add it to the bourbon collection that doesn't get drank. How dumb is that? I've never understood people like me who collect bourbon, but it doesn't get drank. What's the point? It doesn't get better in the bottle. Once it's out of the wooden barrel, the flavor stops. Boom. It stops changing. So what the hell I'm keeping it for? I don't know. I think I originally bought them to give them away as gifts and things like that. But yeah, they just sit there getting dust. Shannon Griffith, Coach Griffith, going to join us back here, and I was able to get some videos downloaded from last night.
All right,
Curt Signetti. This is back in the meeting with us, and here's a little bit of Coach, and you get an indication of how things went. Well, maybe you do, maybe you don't.
Wow, it's been a long time, huh?
How'd you feel about the spring transfer haul? You signed 3 players, and feel like you need fill the hole.
I'd like to have signed a few more, but when we hired Darian and he lost his whole roster, money got a little tight because he had to put a team together, and I felt the pinch.
How was it having a community event like this to get away from Bloomington for a change, maybe?
This is a fun event. Great people. Had a lot of fun last year. It's sold out, 850 people. It's a beautiful venue, great part of the state, and really looking forward to it.
What have you learned or sensed from Darian since he's been around at IU?
Well, we don't spend a ton of time together, but we have been to 3 or 4 functions together, and he's a man of action. He doesn't say a lot, and he's got a plan. He'll get it done. He's going to do real well here, and I think just give them time. This stuff takes time sometimes, and you're going to see results.
Curt, you were in his position last year, but now you're coming back after an extremely successful season. What is it like coming into this season, coming off of what the success you guys had last year?
To me, it's the same as any season. You guys start over every year. It doesn't matter, especially nowadays with the transfer portal, because you got so many new guys. You're rebuilding the house, so to speak, and starting with the foundation. The winter strength and conditioning program, setting standards, expectations, accountability, how you do things, developing a collective mindset, a culture, a team identity. So, it's all about controlling the controllables and maximizing your opportunities and improving as much daily as you can. During the week, getting ready for a game, it's stacking meetings, stacking practices, being totally prepared so you can play your best individually and collectively. And the most important game is the upcoming game. So my point is, you got to take it one day at a time, one play at a time. It's the only way to do it, and everybody starts the season 0-0. Now, if you want to get all into the noise and the clutter and the BS and the social media stuff, you can, but it's not going to affect you positively, that's for sure. So, it's hard to turn it off completely. Sometimes you want a sense for what's going on out there. But I think the guys that are able to turn it off for a significant amount of time are putting their best foot forward and putting themselves in position to stay focused on what's important in their development. And when you get a bunch of guys thinking that way, then the team benefits as well.
That is a great answer. And the funny thing is, whenever Curt Signetti talks, it sounds like he is speaking off of a completely scripted, written out script with a lot of these sayings, but it's not. It's that's how he lives his life every day. That's how he approaches everything. It's not, these are not just catchphrases. It is how he approaches every day. And I think that you have to have that vocabulary in your brain to do that, to not attack it that way. But I say that because if I look over at last night there when Elijah Surratt and Aiden Fisher both spoke, they sounded very similar.
What do you do for an encore?
Just try to do the same thing we did last year, improve on the things that we didn't do good, and that's just about it.
Yeah, I'd say the good part about it is there's a lot of room for improvement, even with the solid year that we had. Obviously, the 2 losses and the things that we made mistakes in those games, but there's just so much room for improvement. It can only go up from there.
Guys, you came in last year, everything was new team, new everybody. You've got a lot of great pieces coming back, new pieces as well. But there's got to be a ton of confidence coming off the CFP performance going into the season.
Yeah, no doubt. It's good to have like the nucleus and the core of the team back. But even with going to the CFP and having a successful year, that's not going to do anything for us this year. So obviously we know what we're capable of. We know what we can reach and kind of things that we're destined for. We just got to make it happen.
Aiden, I think people here forget that people want to know whether you can repeat the success that you had last year, but you guys did that when you were at James Madison. You repeated success year to year. What did you learn from your James Madison experience and sustaining winning that you can apply here in Indiana?
Yeah, just complacency kills success. You get complacent, you get fat and happy, you're going to be right back at the bottom where you started. So just make sure you know like where we started from, which was that 3-9 team that when we got here wasn't very good, and making sure we never even get close to touching that again.
Elijah.
That's exactly, complacency kills success. I mean, as soon as he said that, I was like, man, they live this stuff.
Yeah.
I mean, it's inbred into their brains, ingrained in their minds, ingrained into their daily life in every single thing. And it has to be. You have to walk the walk, so to speak. You can't just talk anybody can talk the talk, but these guys all walk the walk. But that's why they were successful. That's why they took a bunch of mid-major transfers and went 11-1 and shocked the football world and appeared in the college football playoffs. They deserve to be there, man. But now they're going to be the hunted, not the hunter, this upcoming season, Coach.
Yeah, they're not going to sneak up on anybody. That's for sure. Just because of the way they stormed into the college football landscape last year and, did some things that probably nobody gave them a chance to do. Beat Michigan, handle Nebraska and Washington, pretty easily. And their defense was outstanding and an offense that put up points. So they're not going to sneak up on anybody, even though it's a completely different team. But bred into these kids' DNA is all the things that Coach Signetti has talked about, the complacency issue, talking about that on a daily basis and things of that nature. That's why these kids believe and have a high belief in their coaches, because of what they're preaching is backed up with, oodles and oodles of data on what it takes to be the best you can be. And that's been proven in and out from day one that Coach Signetti established his blueprint for success way back when he was coaching in the Pennsylvania League in Division II. And it's just carried on all these way now into a P4 job at Indiana. And he talked about changing the attitude. He said the attitude around here has to change. You have to talk. You have to believe you're going to win, and not settle for anything less. And I think that probably got people a little cross-eyed, but he did change that mentality.
Without question. Hey, I've got to take a break. I'm a break behind because we have had so much great.
No, but better do it.
But we'll do that when we come back. We shall hear from Darren DeVries on the other side when we return to the Hard Truth Distilling Company studios right after these messages.
The ISC Sports Network is your home for sports content across the Hoosier State. Find us live on TV and streaming or archived on our website and our app. The ISC is your one-stop shop for the content you want to see, including high school sports, college sports, and other great events throughout the year. Subscribe to our streaming service and get access to it all. ISC. Local lives here.
Know a team or group needing a fundraiser? Boost Fundraising raises more money faster and offers the most unique and user-friendly online fundraiser in the nation. Your team receives personalized fundraising pages for each team member. Free team-branded promo gifts shipped to each donor. Boost Fundraising does it all. Sports teams, marching bands, charity causes, and community groups. Go to boostfundraising.com and be sure to enter the promo code COYLE, that's C-O-Y-L-E, to receive a discounted fundraiser.
If you're looking for a new home in the Indianapolis area, you need Cheryl Sizemore from Brick and Ivy Realty. Cheryl Sizemore has over 2 decades of experience, and that could be the difference in getting the home you want in today's tough housing market. Reach out to Cheryl at CherylSizemore@gmail.com or 317-701-0838. That's 317-701-0838. Let Cheryl Sizemore sell or find your new home today.
When it comes to apparel and promotions, Freethink has you covered, literally, whether it's 24 or 200 shirts for sports leagues, businesses, or groups. Freethink Apparel and Promotions can also create your very own merchandising store. Freethink Apparel and Promotions did it for Indiana Sports Beat Radio, and they can do it for you. Whether it's screen printing, embroidery, digital printing, promotional products, vehicle wraps, or anything else under the promotional line. See what Freethink Apparel and Promotions can do for you at freethinkapparel.com.
Welcome back to the Hard Truth Distilling Company studios on this Thursday. Just fresh off of coming back from Starlight, Indiana, home of Huber's Orchard and Winery, where each and every year in the spring you have the big IU event that is now turned into Hoosiers Connect event, NIL, benefiting the NIL for Indiana. Packed house last night. I think they said officially it was around 850 people, but that's a lot of people.
A lot of bodies.
And I mentioned I ran into Tim and Jen Gone, some fans, big supporters value. They came in from Houston. I ran into another guy that I'd met the year before. They came in from Nashville. And of course, there are a ton of people that live in the area, but there's people that drive up from Evansville, from all over. Fort Wayne. Oh, yeah. Josh Bruick from the Hoosier Ticket Project was there. Drove down from Fort Wayne for this, and I a friend of his was with him. I cannot remember his name. I apologize, but also Fort Wayne. You know how long? Well, our good friend Dylan Sin from the Fort Wayne Journal also made the drive down from Fort Wayne. I think he said it took him about 3.5 hours, which that's a haul to go. Yeah. But this is a good event. It's you get fed. You get fed well.
I bet you do.
I'm talking old school, straight up fried chicken, old school, your grandma's green beans with the hunks of meat in it. They didn't have mashed potatoes. When I have green beans and corn and chicken, I need mashed potatoes, man.
Yeah.
I need mashed potatoes. Didn't have that, but the food was exquisite. The service, unbelievable. The people at Huber's are all great. Those are my peeps down in Southern Indiana. Love them. Curt Signetti, but Darren DeVries also met with us ahead of the event last night. And again, he seemed really comfortable this time around, and just getting used to it, I guess. But here's a little bit of what Darren was asked and had to say.
Thoughts, just sort of, what are maybe 3 or 4 things you think you guys are going to be that are going to be strengths of the team this year?
Yeah, I'll tell you a lot more here in about a week. The team gets here this weekend, so we'll start workouts on Monday. But I like the way the roster came together. I think we got great depth in shooting the basketball, which was a priority for us. I think we, for the most part, got good positional size at a lot of the spots. The center were a little smaller, but every other spot, I think we got some great size there. And I think overall we got great depth. And I like the way I think the pieces were all kind of connect together. They can complement each other pretty well. So, like I said, we'll know a lot more here in the next couple of weeks, but excited to get them on campus.
You had to do something on Tucker. We saw him shooting with Basie a little bit. Like, what can he do, and when is he going to be full contact?
Yeah, for the most part, we're getting closer. We're waiting for that final clearance for the full contact, but he's able to do all the shooting, drill works, lifting, modified a little bit. But I think for by the time we get rolling here this next week, maybe within that first week, we should be fully cleared for full contact and be good to go there.
Do you anticipate similar to this last summer in terms of maybe not quite the same roster overhaul, but a lot of new faces? You knew you were going on a foreign tour last summer like you do this summer. How do you structure maybe what you try to accomplish week by week when you're thinking about player development, but you're also thinking about cohesiveness and chemistry, and you get the practices and the games to sort of build up to at the end of the summer?
Yeah, the nicest part with taking a trip is we get those 10 extra practices, so we can spread it out, and we'll do maybe one a week where we can get some extra film study in, do some install, that type of stuff. That maybe takes a little bit more time that you don't have when you only have the 4 hours a week. So that's the way we'll try to utilize that the most. And then you get those game opportunities, but more importantly, just some time to spend together when you got a whole new group, just to kind of build that cohesiveness on and off the floor. I think it's a terrific time for us to go do that.
Are you still looking to add to the roster, or what's your current thinking on the open spots?
Yeah, we still have a couple open spots, so we're still actively recruiting to see if there's something that fits and makes sense, and we can kind of go a lot of different directions with that. As the roster stands today, we still have those 2 extra spots, so we'll see what that plays out like. But we are still actively recruiting.
Darren, you had the experience of doing this before in West Virginia, building a team. So has that helped you this time around And what did you learn, and what are some of the things that you were going to do and not do?
Yeah, and then I had to do it my first year at Drake, a very similar deal as well, where you didn't have a lot of guys returning, so you're kind of putting a whole new roster together. One of the advantages of it is when everybody you're recruiting is bought into what, kind of your vision and things, and you're not having to try to convince somebody that was returning of your vision. So that part, there's some benefit there. Obviously, the downside is every single guy on the roster is new, and the familiarity with the university, the town, everything is starting from scratch there. But I think the biggest thing is just getting them all together, getting them on the same page, and watching how that plays out in terms of roles and connectivity and things, because you don't have anything else to go off of other than, maybe, especially within the portal, there wasn't long recruitments in a lot of cases with that stuff. So for us, it's about figuring things out as we go as well, and they're figuring one another out. They're figuring out their new coaches. Coaches are figuring out each other and the new players. So, but it's also a fun process too. It's fun to see where it starts in June and where it ends up by the end in March.
You inherited Kentucky and Marquette on the schedule. You've also added Louisville. What are your thoughts on the non-conference schedule, and what are you trying to achieve in the non-conference?
Yeah, I think those are some great games for us. Terrific games regionally for sure. That's a lot of fun for both not only the teams but the fan bases, and so it should present some great challenges. You got a 20-game Big Ten schedule as well. So I think for us again, it's those 3 games on our trip are gonna be important too, because you just have to play, and you got to figure some things out. The good and the bad, and learning how to play with one another. So as we go through non-conference, we're going to figure some things out in a hurry with some of those games that we have on the schedule, and then try to get ourselves prepared for Big Ten play with everybody on the staff. So that's. I love the staff that we have right now, and we're looking forward to just getting on the floor and not working.
Do you anticipate adding any other additional pieces?
Staff-wise?
Yes.
Yeah, there's potential for maybe one more staff member, and then as we mentioned with the players, another potential there for a couple openings there as well.
How pleased are you right now with the mix of the sheer amount of shooters you have versus bigs versus rim protection defense? What's your comfort zone on that right now?
Yeah, it's pretty good. I don't anticipate us having great rim protection. Like I said, we're a little undersized at the 5 spot. So, but there's a lot of different ways. Rim protection isn't always block shots. There's a lot of ways to protect the rim. So, I think overall on paper, I like the balance we have. I think there's a lot of things that we can play to and try to have as strengths. Again, that comes down to, okay, we got to take it from paper to the floor, and that's that process that starts here this next week.
Right. Last question here.
What prevents you from being a little stronger at the 5 than you currently are?
Actually, I feel really good about the 5. I like the guys we have. I think they fit how we want to play offensively, especially. I think they have the ability to really have the ball in their hands and be facilitators and playmakers. I think we have good depth there. So, I like what those guys are going to bring, and there'll be nights that they'll be undersized on the defensive end, but there's a lot of ways to offset that. Size doesn't always determine how effective you can be as a defender or offensive player. So the right mindset goes a long ways, and I think our guys will bring that mindset.
So you heard it right there. Size does not matter. I was hoping he was going to say that.
You got hope.
I was like, oh man, that was going to be funny. But no, there's Coach Darren DeVries talking a little bit about the upcoming season, his team, how he likes the team he's put together. I'm telling you, the staff he's put together, top notch. Great recruiters, great. Just that. I said this to somebody last night. I go, well, this kind of sucks, because it means we're going to have to start working harder again, because we're going to have to start traveling more again, because they're actually going to be recruiting kids. They're actually going to be going to these events. These staff members will be going out to these events. The head coach will be going out to these events. He will be out recruiting. He's already been out recruiting. So we'll have to be out more. We didn't have to do that before. Woodson enjoyed just handing out offers. Here's, you get an offer, you get an offer, you get an offer. Here's an envelope. But yeah, looking forward to everything. Just all the way around. Indiana athletics has, well, you got to get basketball going before I can make this statement. But if they can get basketball going, and I think that Darren DeVries will. I'm not saying he's the next Bob Knight. There is no next Bob Knight. Gee whiz. I mean, those don't come along very often. But he has the resources to be successful. He has the facilities. He has all he needs. And I think that he has the capabilities. He's put together a great staff, like I said, and they all want to win. Everybody wants to win. That's the goal. It's why you play the games. And so I think that once they get that, Indiana athletics will have never been in the shape that it's in, because football has never had any sustained success over a season or two. And not that Curt Signetti has brought that yet, but I would be just mortally shocked if this does not continue, just because. And if you listen to these guys, there's some similarities in how they talk, Coach.
Yeah. Well, I think Curt Signetti probably summed it up the best. I mean, when he gave his full-fledged endorsement of what he believed Coach was going to be able to do at Indiana, and he understands that he's got a blueprint, and they've probably talked about that. And you'd be surprised the sharing of information across sports is done frequently. I mean, it's done in a fashion that a lot of coaches will go to the basketball coaches and talk about why are they successful? What have they been able to do that's gave them success, and find out some things that maybe they weren't aware of at the school or in the state of Indiana, for instance. But you're right. He's not Bob Knight. The Bob Knight eras were gone a long time ago, and they're reestablishing Indiana basketball, and it's not going to happen overnight. Not to say that it can't, but it's probably unlikely in the event that they can get some guys in here through the portal and flip the roster like he's trying to do now. All things are possible now to get back to the promised land in basketball if you got the right guy in charge. And like you said, I think he is the right guy at the right time for Indiana. And again, Scott Dolson has done his homework, and he's learned from his hires. That's the one thing that I think got him in the football hire, is that he learned from his mistakes.
I agree with that. That's a great point, and I agree with that without question. And he has definitely done a good job with what he's doing, and he deserves the credit, because, as I just talked about, Indy Athletics is on the precipice of being in the greatest position it has ever been. That is because of Pam Whitten giving the latitude to Scott Dolson, and Scott Dolson making the right moves. Man, all that stuff has to go well. Crazy. And what a great day. Appreciate you being with us as always, Coach. It's always a blast. Look forward to doing it again.
Absolutely. And I'll see everyone tonight, 7:30 on the tailgate.
Make sure you tune in. Where can they find you?
Right there at the Hoosier.com. There'll be a link for the show tonight, as well as all the social media avenues that we have information going on. You can find it there with the links on X or Facebook and YouTube. You got it. Whatever avenue you like, we'll be there.
Just turn left or turn right.
That's right.
Either way down the avenue. Coach Griff, appreciate you, my friend.
See you, partner.
Big thanks to everybody for joining us on the show today. Most importantly, each and every one of you. Without you, we have no reason to be here. We're back tomorrow from the Hard Truth Distilling Company studios to do it again. Until then, I'm Jim Coyle. I will see you on the radio.
Thanks for listening to Indiana Sports Beat Radio. Be sure to subscribe to our YouTube page for more clips and team coverage of Indiana basketball, football, and more. You can also find full episodes and tons of other content on thehoosier.com. We'll see you next time for another edition of Indiana Sports Beat Radio.